Hi, this is Travis Zapp here for ComicsVerse at Wizard World Philadelphia 2016 with Victor Dandridge of Vantage Inhouse Productions. Now, for those of you who are not aware, Vantage Inhouse Productions has some awesome award-winning titles such as The Samaritan. For our audience members who are not so familiar, could you give us a little bit of a synopsis of The Samaritan?
Yeah, sure. So what The Samaritan is an urban take on superheroics. We got a guy, no costume, no code name, moves into a crime-ridden area and starts to systematically clean it up. Very hands-on, very aggressive. I real quickly bill it or pitch it as if Punisher had superpowers, that's what he would be like.
Pretty cool. So sort of street level, but more powerful than your average like Daredevil or Batman.
Exactly. He's definitely a Superman class level guy, but the whole thing is that he's not wearing the fights and tights kind of, mentality thing. He's just kind of moving in, seeing what's going on and saying, okay, I'm going to affect this, I'm going to affect that, and clear it up and then move on to the next place.
I think the Samaritan sounds like a perfect name for that. You know, this stranger who kind of comes in out of nowhere and fixes the problem. So could you tell us a little bit about the history of Vantage In-House Productions?
Yeah, we've been around, it'll be 6 years officially in October. It's a self-publishing imprint. Born from me wanting to tell my own stories. I've been a comic book fan for a very long time, and it's just been a matter of having the courage to tell the stories that I want to, and I started that in 2010. We actually launched our imprint with The Samaritan #1.
Awesome. And there's a lot more that you do beyond just creation. You also have a lot of involvement in education. I know U Cre-8 Comics is a big thing for you. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, U Cre-8 Comics is a brand that I created to essentially give back to the comic book medium and showcase the educational merit of reading comics and being involved in comic book production. It's a program that I've done almost as long as Vantage In-House has existed, and it's gone everywhere across the country, through schools, libraries, conventions, all kinds of places. And one of the first things is getting kids who might not have like a strong background or knowledge of comics, but get them to create their own comics and kind of introduce them to the medium as a whole.
Absolutely. What are some of the titles that kind of influenced you to viewing comics as this education based format?
So it was the death of Superman that got me into comics, but it was books like Kingdom Come that really illustrated the literary aspect of it. Kingdom Come, Watchmen, Spider-Man Blue is a big one. In a really interesting way, and I find it really cool the way that you look at it now. Civil War is a great book to do that, based on not just the media adaptation, but the actual conversation of diplomacy and things like that, and what sides are more legitimate, protecting people or following the rules. All these different aspects are wonderful showcases that comic books have to kind of point out the educational values of them.
You started bringing up politics and diplomacy with Civil War, so I want to ask, how do you feel about the whole Captain America #1 sort of situation that's going on out there?
Man, I have to admit, it's kind of a shady deal, considering that Civil War right now is one of the highest grossing movies of the year, and then you undercut that character. I think the timing for it is so strange. I get that you need momentum, you need to pick up sales. I know that there's not necessarily a nice translation from when a big movie comes out to comic book sales, but that might not be the best shock value tactic to use right now.
Yeah, it definitely upset a couple of people. So getting back to what you've been doing, what do you have working currently? What projects do you have coming up? Anything that you'd like to pitch to everybody?
Absolutely. So we've got an all-ages friendly title called Wonder Care Presents the Kindergartens, and I'm working on the 5th issue of that. It's been a blast. I worked with Justin Castaneda on that one, and I can't wait to showcase what the full run of this is going to be. This is also an award-winning title. We actually won the 2015 Space Prize, Small Press and Alternative Comics Expo for webcomics for our work with the kindergartens, which is fantastic. We're also going to continue the Origins Unknown series that I do with Jacob Newell. We actually have the first book of the 2nd volume done, where we've got pages coming in for volume 2. It's going to be amazing. The most critically acclaimed title that I have, The Trouble with Love, I actually have a follow-up series called Never Too Late, and the creative team is returning, so I've got Harold Edge and Ryan Carter coming back for that, which is going to be great. We're going to actually take the story and expand it exponentially. I mean, we've got The Trouble with Love as a one-shot, and we're actually making Never Too Late a 4-part series piece, so that's going to be great. And then we also have an 8th issue of The Samaritan as a special anniversary celebration that I'm doing with Ren McKenzie to kind of celebrate the fact that we've been around for 5 years with that particular issue.
Awesome. And again, these are all award-winning titles. So as these are continuing to come out, they're all going to be gold. So make sure you pick those up. Make sure you check out Vantage Inhouse Productions and support Victor Dandridge and all the rest of the artists here at Artist Alley in Wizard World Philadelphia 2016. Victor, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate that.
Not a problem. Have a great day. Once again, I'm Travis Zapp for ComicsVerse here at Wizard World Philadelphia 2016. Make sure that you follow us at comicsverse.com, facebook.com/comicsverse. We're on Twitter at @comicsverse. We're on Instagram. You can find our podcasts on Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes. Pretty much we're all over the place. If you're looking for us, you'll find us. Thanks again, and make sure that you watch all of these interviews and more at comicsverse.com.